Thanks for staying with us for this Election 2016 Factor Special. I'm Eric Bolling in for Bill O'Reilly. In the personal story segment tonight, the Carly Fiorina phenomenon. By many accounts, she won the debate a few days ago, but at least one of her rivals thinks the media is in the tank for her.
When you walked off the stage, did you have one opinion of what happened, and then you listened to the people, the press, and then saw the reviews and everything else, and have another, or did they sync up for you?
I think going in, we knew the narrative, no matter what was going to happen, was that they were going to say Carly had a big night no matter what, and obviously they said that.
So does Scott Walker have a point? Joining us now from Charlottesville, University of Virginia politics professor Larry Sabato, and from Washington, national political reporter for the Boston Globe, Matt Visor. Larry, start with you. I'm not sure the media was in the tank for anyone, but you have to admit, Carly had a very good debate.
Eric, she had a terrific debate. She won the undercard debate with Fox in August. This wasn't a great surprise. And I think, frankly, if there's one thing just about everybody hates, it's whining from candidates who didn't do well at a debate. And that, I'm sorry to say, is what Governor Walker's doing.
So what do you think, Matt? Is it a fair... honestly, Scott Walker needed a big debate, didn't really get the big debate, so maybe it is a little bit of sour grapes.
Yeah, it does sound a lot like sour grapes. I mean, Carly Fiorina did have a good night, objectively, and she's risen rapidly here. And in some respects, she wasn't even supposed to be on the stage under the original rules that CNN had for it. So I think it was a good debate for her, and her star is kind of rising, and we'll see how long she can keep it there.
So do you think there was fair treatment of Carly? I mean, there are a lot of questions about some of her. Listen, I think she's fantastic. She gets it out there. She's very confident. But there are some questions about her business past. Let's start with Matt.
Yeah, and I think that's, that really damaged her in her 2010 Senate race, which she lost to Senator Barbara Boxer in California. And I think that's where this turns next a little bit, is resurrecting some of those criticisms about her tenure at Hewlett-Packard, which we saw a little bit of during the debate, particularly with Carly Fiorina going back and forth with Donald Trump. But I think, the average voter doesn't know Carly Fiorina that well, and I think they'll learn a lot more about her as this more scrutiny over her business record.
Yeah, Larry, it strikes me that Carly Fiorina, where on the left, Hillary Clinton is using the gender politics. Carly Fiorina seems to want to push it away. Is that a mistake?
Well, let's see what happens as things unfold. Remember, were she to become the nominee, I'm sure that the fact that she was the nominee or even on the ticket would help to neutralize some of that gender factor for the Democrats. But, let me just interject here, Eric. Yes, Carly Fiorina lost that Senate race by about 10 points in California 2010. Yes, it was a solid Republican year, but it was California. It's a deep blue state. My guess is Carly Fiorina is much better prepared to compete because of what happened in 2010.
Yeah, and Matt, she definitely stepped up her game. 11 people on stage. She did very well cutting in when it was not her turn to talk, and I think maybe some of the other candidates might learn from her.
And she, more effectively than anybody else, went after Trump, and she said so much in so few words. Her remark about her looks went over very well against Trump, and she sort of put Trump on the defensive in a way that other candidates have really struggled to be able to do.
Well, so let me go back to Larry. Chris Christie, that back and forth between Trump and Carly was going, and it was heated, and it was elevating, and a lot of things were coming out. A lot of information was coming out. Chris Christie stopped them in their tracks and said, this is what we don't want. Well, maybe he's wrong. Maybe it is what we want. Maybe we want to hear what people's paths are, and we don't need the political speak that a candidate does. That's what those two were doing. They were pushing away from the typical political debate.
Yeah, well, don't worry. We'll have plenty of time to get into that. Look, that was Chris Christie's best moment, so don't take it away from him, Eric. But I would say, as far as that's concerned,
that was his best moment?
Are we ever going to have a long discussion about business practices and corporate culture and things that many Americans know very little about? There are pluses and minuses to point out in both Trump's case and Carly Fiorina's case, and there's plenty of campaigning time left. There are plenty of debates left
but Larry,
to do that.
We were learning about the past of two two major contenders. We were learning things that we might not have learned had they not gone at it on the stage. And then Christie says, stop, maybe because, Matt, he doesn't want to go back into some of the things in his past.
Yeah, and it felt like almost a debate in a corporate boardroom over each other's business backgrounds and business experience, which, given the resume of Carly Fiorina and Donald Trump, is an important debate for the two of them to have. I was interested in it. I was sort of disappointed Chris Christie cut it off, but you understand why Christie did it. I mean, Christie was eager to inject himself. He needs to have a big moment, and, like Larry said, it may have been his best moment of the night.
We're going to have to leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you very much.